This is Sarah from So Stories, and today we have the Treetop Twins, yet another adventure by Cressida Cowell. The snow gleamed and dazzled as the sun glinted off the ice. The Treetop family have transformed their time machine into a snowmobile, and they have traveled not back in time but far, far away to the Arctic. So here we can see, here is Professor Pablo, and there are the twins, the big twins and the little twins. And they're all in the Arctic. Usually we see them going back in time to the world of dinosaurs, but here they have gone to the Arctic. It was so cold, the wind nipped your nose like a bee sting. The Treetop family were looking for the largest land carnivore in the world, the magnificent polar bear. Tulip spotted a snowy owl. Asha spotted an Arctic fox. Alfie spotted an orca. But nobody had spotted any polar bears. So here we see Tulip is showing us, here is a snowy owl, and here Alfie has spotted an orca in the water, and Asha has spotted a cute Arctic fox. Look, said Professor Penelope excitedly. There are bear prints in front of us. So here Professor Penelope is seeing the footprints of a bear. Professor Penelope bent down to measure the bear prints. Let's follow them, said Ted. He wandered on ahead looking through his binoculars. Careful, Ted, warned Professor Pablo. Polar bears are wonderful animals, but they can be very dangerous. Ted stomped back cross. I can see there are no polar bears nearby. Polar bears have black skin and their fur is not white. It is actually transparent, said Asha. In this snowy landscape, it looks white because it reflects the sunlight. You might find it hard to spot a polar bear. Why do you think it will be so hard to find a polar bear? The polar bear is so white and it looks just like the snow. But suddenly Ted did spot something. Out on the ice was a mother polar bear and her two little cubs. The mother was very still, watching a hole in the ice, hoping to catch a seal. She's getting ready to pounce on a seal who would jump up from the hole. But here we can see a mischievous seal is standing right behind her. Her cubs were playing nearby, sliding on their tummies in the snow. Just like you little children will go on the slide in the park, the polar bear's babies are making a slide in the ice. How exciting, said Professor Penelope. A mother and her cubs. One of the cubs ran across the ice. The mother called out to it, but the cub did not listen. It ran, and then suddenly there was a loud crack, followed by an even louder splash. The cub yelled, "You!" as the ice gave way and it was plunged into the freezing cold water beneath. Oh no, said Professor Penelope, looking through her binoculars. That cub is very young. It may not know how to swim yet. Whatever should they do? The mother bear was frantic with worry. She ran over to the edge of the ice and she called out to her baby. Her other cub was so scared it climbed onto its mother's back. Should we help the cub? Asked Asha. I don't think we can, said Professor Pablo. The mother is so frightened she might attack us. Wait, said Professor Penelope. Look, I think Mum might be giving her cub its first swimming lesson. And it was true. While the baby polar bear splashed around, trying to reach the safety of the ice, The mother looked on and called to her cub. And sure enough, the splashing soon began to look like swimming. And the swimming brought the cub to the edge of the ice. So here, Mama Bear is being an instructor, standing out and teaching her little cub how to swim. The baby polar bear pulled itself out of the water, shook itself off, and ran to join its mother. They nuzzled each other lovingly, then the cub and its mother and sibling all wandered off together across the ice. Phew, panted Professor Penelope as the Treetop family watched the polar bears disappear. I'm glad none of you took a plunge into that icy water. Just watching that cub has made me feel cold. Let's go home. And they all went back to their cozy ice house for dinner. Night time in the Arctic. Back at the ice house, the professor made notes about polar bear populations and habitats while the treetop twins played at sledging down the ice hills until it was time to go to bed. Because human children are not so very different from bear cubs. And polar bear parents are just like our parents, said Ted as he got into bed. Sometimes they fuss at us, but it's only because they want us to be safe. Yes, and they want you to go to sleep too, said Professor Penelope as she turned out the light. I bet those tired baby polar bears are fast asleep already. Asha's facts about polar bears. Polar bears have black skin, and although their fur appears white, it's actually transparent. The word Arctic comes from the Greek word actos, meaning bear. Polar bears are the largest land carnivores on the planet.